Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Svea Rike 2 with me, Acciyn, where we are at war with Denmark, and they are really mad at us because we're trying to break free of their influence. In the previous video we defended our northernmost thingy up here and spent all of our money on coke and hookers with horses to defend this place. In this episode we're going to do stuff. I don't really know what. I only know one thing. I'm going to click on this thing here, and here we actually have some ships that we are able to build, which is something that I've completely forgotten about. The reason I've forgotten about it is because I've never used a navy in this game before, which maybe I should have. There are 3 different types of ships. We could buy this, which is a pirate ship, which you probably know what that does. It pirates ships for something. Like I said, I've never used a navy in this game before. Maybe I should have, but I've always focused on land battles. We could buy a warship, which protects our merchant ships, or we could build a merchant ship which generates income. We could also buy a harbor, which is what we need to actually make ships. Logical, right? I know. Yeah. It like makes perfect sense, man. Like, dude. It's like making sense and stuff. Okay, I've already built that. I don't need another one. And oh, I so want to be able to afford that, but to do that I need more irons, and to do that I need to spend my money, and yada yada yada. We are going to need lots and lots of iron in the future, so I'm going to plan ahead for that and build a second smithy. And I'm building it down here because I want to imagine this as being the most protected of all my provinces, since I have people around me doing all the fighting. Either way, I've spent enough time talking about nothing and more nothing, so I'm just gonna end the turn and see what happens this turn. Okay, we're not attacked over here, we're actually not attacked at all, which is kinda interesting. I don't really know, maybe I should put these guys over here and start moving in on an offensive? Maybe that could be a good idea. I think I'm gonna do that actually. And as you can see, our other allied peoples are advancing on most of Denmark. I think Denmark is kind of fucked. Or maybe we're fucked and they're just throwing away their people. I don't feel the need to recruit anything this turn. I'm actually going to save up all of my monies and spend that on something better than war. So I'm gonna declare done on here. Whoa! Music! I wasn't expecting. Yeah. King Hans. Let's see. Hur många miljoner stiftades Sverige och Danmark var en miljon gemensam kung. Efter är det praktiken försvarslandet och styrelse. Oh, right. So the Kalmar Union is the I guess pact you might call it, that in 1919. Well done. Let's keep with my apparent number disknowledge with this Let's Play. Polar Dice is going to love me saying that. No, 1396 is what I was supposed to say. It was signed by Sweden, Norway and Denmark, basically unifying these 3 nations under one king, which was at the time before all of this warring that we are currently engaging in happened, had Denmark as the ruler of all 3. But after 1439, it was practically the regent of Sweden who ruled over Sweden. De svenska domarna ogärna säger en stadsrådskan vill ha en kung sitter på betryggande avstånd many Swedish noblemen. Okay. Apparently many Swedish noblemen during this time did not want a strong Swedish king and would rather have a king sitting ruling at the comfortable distance away in Copenhagen. There are, however, many who wish for Sweden to be independent from Denmark and would rather see a Swedish king in power. This is like background story, which we, in my opinion, should have gotten earlier, but basically with, like, from time to time, the Danish king would gather his troops to put down the rebellious Swedish noblemen who wanted Sweden to be independent, with varying results. But like we know from stuff that we have read before, in 1471 Sten Sture defeats the Danish king. And that scrolled a whole lot more. Oh my god, that's a lot of text. Game, you are trolling me. Yeah, Christian I at Brunkeberg, and he starts a 18-year, and for the next 18 years he is the regent of Sweden. In 1491 it is King Hans who besieges Stockholm, and in November Sten and Hans agree to a truce, which which I guess King Hans is the king of Denmark. The truce basically states, or condition of the truce is that Sten Sture is to recognize Hans as the Swedish king in exchange for a extension of what would be the equivalent of his current position, and that Denmark returns Scotland to Sweden, which is misspelled there. It's supposed to be another L. In Latin, Hans becomes Johannes, and therefore King Hans is sometimes referred to King Johan II. There we go, that's the rest of the text. Yeah, and in accordance to the Kalmar Union, King Hans of Denmark is crowned the King of Sweden as well. And he is in large part supported by Swedish noblemen who are opposed to Sten Sture. And here is another person who we might be able to recruit if we so feel like it. Hemmingard. One of the grey royalties. I don't know what they're talking about there. Who has great influence in the politics without he himself having a nobleman position. Oh, he is the Swedish liaison for the Pope or something like that. Sweden's liaison to the Pope, I guess you would say. He returns home in 1500 and participates in Sten Sture's rebellion against King Hans. So, as a skilled diplomat, he is often hired for negotiations. 1520, he actually switches his position and instead supports the Danish King Christian. But King Christian is suspicious about this and has Hemming executed. Okay, basically if we were to hire this guy, we could build an embassy in our provinces without having to have a nobleman's estate built before we built the embassy, and it costs us 50 silver instead of 100 silver to change our relationships with different countries. He's basically useless to me. I'm not gonna hire him. Oh, and more stuff happening. The catastrophe of Dithmarschen. Oh, Dithmarschen, I guess you pronounce that, since it's apparently like on the border between Denmark and Germany. In between the rivers of Eider and Elbe. In the year 1227, apparently there was something as unusual as a peasants' republic formed there independently from Denmark and Germany, where the peasants would mind their own affairs. Kaiser Frederick III decides for some reason he decided that it was supposed to be a county of its own and gifts it to King Christian the First. Something that the peasants there completely ignores and refuse to pay taxes and recognize their new master. In February, the year 1500, the Danish-Swedish Union King Hans decides that enough is enough and marches there with the entire Danish army of 13,000 men. Which is quite the sizable force for this period of time. Oh, game, you stop that. The peasants respond by pouring a fuck ton of mud over the entire countryside. Apparently they did so in winter or something. The Danish army has to slowly advance through the mud with heavy snow blowing in their faces. The peasants suddenly open fire from recently dug ditches. Several hundred of the Danish army die immediately. The Danish powder is wet and cannot be fired with. And since it's slippery, muddy, cold and snowy, clever. Pouring salt in their wounds, the peasants open the floodgates to the ocean and release a flood wave which flushes the rest of the Danish army out to sea. and the catastrophe is a fact. The Danish army is annihilated while marching towards the peasants in northern Germany. What do we want to do? How do we respond? We could send 50 silvers to Denmark so that they can rebuild their army. Are you fucking shitting me? We are at war with them. We could send them a message declaring that neener in your face. Basically. Just stating that we like what happened to them. Or we could do nothing. I'm gonna go with the neener part. Haha, your army's dead. Fuck you! Oh, god damn it. Game, stop it. The regent Sten Sture fights all his life for Sweden not to be controlled by the Danish Union King. In 1501 he rebels against King Hans. Oh wait. Oh yeah, he rebels against King Hans, the very person who he recognized as Sweden's king only 4 years earlier. And after a 6-month-long siege, Stockholm capitulates. Oh yeah, because Stockholm at the time was Danish. So after a 6-month-long siege, Stockholm capitulates. Stockholm being the strongest royalistic place, I guess, those with the strongest support for the Danish king. In May of 1502, Sten Sture reclaims the throne over Sweden. Denmark and Sweden still at war. Denmark has won a battle in here, basically defending their territory. Tot has won on Gotland, they're defending there. Grip has won that one and taken it from the Danish. Denmark defeated Brahe on one of those two, I don't know which, sorry. But yeah, Denmark, no, there, that one, they retook that. And we have claimed 2 provinces. Westland, where is, what? Well, we have claimed some stuff from them, basically. Laurentius did not want to be with me, he wanted to be with someone else, bastard. Nothing has happened as to trade, since I don't have any ships. They have built some stuff, I built my smithy. What the fuck? What the fuck, game? I think the game just shit out at me. Like, seriously, how did they get that much renown? That's not even possible, what the fuck? Okay, so the game has bugged out and given 2 people a fuck ton of renown points that they didn't earn. I'm just gonna go with that and say fuck it, because that's hilarious. What the fuck? Oh my god. Jesus, what the shit, game? What the shit? Okay. First things first, I'm going to build a second village here to give me more monuments every turn. And since that pretty much used up the rest of my golds, I'm going to save the rest of my golds, and irons, for that matter. So, on that really weird note, I will leave you with this video, and I hope to see you in the upcoming video. I hope you found my reading of stuff fun, and next time, hopefully, we'll do something other than just reading a bunch of crap. I'll see you then.